Alright, let's talk about how to input your shapes to the hub from your anything machine. As you can see here on my screen, I have my buffer set up at the end of my Make Anything machine, and it's filling up with shapes that's going to then get fed into the hub. I use this mini line so I can split it into 4 sets of 4 at the hub itself. So let's go over to the hub. We'll ignore all this filter mess for a second and get over here to the hub. As you can see, we have all my inputs, my constant shapes coming in right now. I have currently cut off the blueprint shapes. I don't need so much. I got 7.5 million of them. We're done with that. Let's look at this simple example right here. As you can see, these pinkish shapes coming in from the side go through a filter and then pop through the merger into the hub. And this is how it runs all the time, normally, when shapes are just flowing through. On the wires layer, I have one single wire coming in. It's currently outputting a 1, which sends this filter stuff right on through. Once my buffer fills up, which just happened, this wire changes to a 0, these filters cut off, and the shapes start coming through. Now there's a little bit of delay here on my buffer. That's not really a big deal. But I need to hit this 175 a second mark. This many lanes will certainly do that for me. As you can see, my constant shapes here and down here have all cut off. The buffer is finished, and these shapes will start back up in just a second once the hub is fully filled. And so now they're going through again. So how this works at a high level is this is my buffer, here's my initial filters, but right over here is a belt reader, and then over here is another belt reader on my longest lane. These belt readers output a 0 when nothing is going through them, like right now, which means nothing is coming through from my buffer, which is currently filling, or will be filling in a second with new shapes. These two zeros are ANDed together right here, and then the wire runs around. I could have routed this differently, but I'm currently rearranging everything. Ultimately, this wire runs around and eventually ends up coming back over here to this blue lane here, which then outputs to my various filters. It is put through a NOT gate if needed, and will serve to cut off these filters, these filters, these filters here, and these ones over here, all on one wire. And then the buffered shapes can flip right through. That's all there is to it. A quick and easy pattern for merging multiple lanes together is this one here. You have a few tunnels, a few mergers, you output the tunnels, and there you go. When filters upstream cut off, these things come right through, and it's fairly easy to deal with. Another quick option you have, which I set up here and was playing around with, is that same wire comes in this way, again with the signal for those belt readers, and goes to a couple different filters. First of all, this is the pass-through filter. But when these filters are flipped to 0, they will instead output to this storage section, which then has an inverted filter here to cut off. So with these bypass sideways, these also bypass sideways and effectively stop the flow, allowing these storage units to build up. And then when my incoming line turns into a 0 to a 1 again, excuse me, these will then open, allowing flow to come through. So flow will come through this way and out of the storage units, merging up here and flowing down to my hub. The reason for this is just to keep an extra buffer of these shapes. I have overflow gates up top, but if you want to make sure you include as full a throughput as possible, assuming your initial throughput isn't 100% belt full, this will get you to 100% belt full and speed up your overall hub input. So yeah, that's the quick and easy way to merge your multiple shaped belts when using an anything machine. I hope that was helpful.